right? How we should repent. I have not anything wrong to repent. But they would go on and on for an hour, and everybody in the parish would be shivering and shaking in their shoes. And if they didn't do it, if you're not going to do as I tell you, I'm going to put a curse on you.
Mm-hmm.
So they were trembling. And then they'd have, you walk out of church all holy and repenting, and they'd have their guys outside selling the scapulars. At a good price. And you buy them too.
Oh, yeah. And of course there was also cookies, biscuits, and didn't the biscuits, the minerals, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, that was always a part of the mission.
Well,
in fact, it used to be the best part of the mission.
Well, you were starving. You had to get something.
Okay, one of the things I don't want to pass up, and I want to go back a little bit on, we're talking about the dances and the pictures and so. I want to talk a little bit about drama. Was there plays and stuff in the area, or any traveling players?
There were plays by local groups,
Mm-hmm.
mostly during Lent.
During Lent, that's what I was trying to get into.
I know the Banner will put on plays. I mean, down in Kerry, when I was going to school in Kerry, I remember seeing a bunch of plays. Mm-hmm. In addition to do the whole play, they also do a few skits, which are very funny. Some of the national people will come also, like Jimmy O'Day, Maureen Potter.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't do concerts. Joe Lynch. Not that often, but enough. Every time they came, you went.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, that was big.
Big time.
Big time.
Oh yeah, and because you'd hear them on the radio. So I haven't seen this. Off you go. It was good entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you involved at all with any groups?
No.
When you were in Ireland?
No.
Now, again, going to dances. Were you going to dances when the big bands season was around?
Yeah, they had the Cayleys, and then you had the show bands.
Right. Show bands.
And the biggest show band back then, when I was coming of age, I suppose, if you want to call it that, was the Royal Show Band out of Waterford.
Yeah.
Brendan Moyer. And they were the big time.
Still going strong.
I believe, are they out of Vegas now? Still in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Still in Las Vegas.
I went to England then in 62, and I spent about 10 months in London. And the reason I say that is because the show band came over there, the Royal Show Band for Ron Paddy's Day. Mick Delahunty was the big band. He was also, it was an all-night dance,
I want to just pop back a little bit to Christmas again, and we talked about toys. Do you remember any favourite toy you got at Christmas?
No, but I remember a toy that I don't think it had much to do with Christmas. It had to do with the fact that my father and me were in town, and he had sold a couple of those calves, and he had a few extra shillings in his pocket, and he after he'd done his trip to the local bar, he said, go up to Martin's. Martin's is a toy shop, or a shop that had toys. And he took me over to the counter, and he says, why don't you pick out that train there? Right, so I'm looking at the train. I'm also looking at the price.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you were 7 or 8, you were price conscious.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget what it was. It was like 10 shillings, we'll say. And to the left, there was a fire engine, which was about 4 shillings. And I immediately went for the 4 shilling fire, even though I wanted a train.
Yeah.
So I remember the fire engine.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
But like you say, Christmas you were lucky if you got one or
Christmas
two.
tops 2.
Yeah.
You get something small, and you get like a fire engine or a train.
And of course, birthdays. Well, they mentioned it all.
What was a birthday? There were no birthdays.
Well, of course, your birthday was Christmas Day.
Yeah,
but you
there were no birthdays. Yeah, no birthdays, and it wasn't a big thing back then.
Yeah. The Troubles in Ireland, how did that affect you in Offaly?
It really didn't, except from what we heard on the radio and or read on the paper. And I suppose every Irishman, to a degree, is a rebel at heart anyway. so we're all pro Ireland, you see. And I think it was back, my biggest thing was Sean South of Gary Owen, that situation up there. But yeah, everybody was interested, but I don't think anybody really openly supported either way. Everybody was mum. I think a lot of it had to do with the Civil War. Next door neighbor didn't want to say anything. It was up to next door neighbor.
But of course, people, you had all the rebel songs too.
Oh yeah, we loved them. Oh yeah, we'd sing them.
Sing
Yeah. Oh,
the songs and so forth. The couple of two things I want to mention, because we started off with the stations in the house, and I was kind of wanted to go back and talk about the rosary. Was that something?
Yeah, that came in big sometime in the 50s. I guess it was what, Father Peyton or somebody who started it?
I think it probably was the marrying year.
Yeah.
The Blessed Mother or some of those.
Before my time, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
Rosary, I don't think it was said every night, but it was said constantly in the house, and you'd kneel down in the kitchen floor. It was done early in the evening, so you could go about your business and do whatever you were supposed to be doing afterwards, hurling or football. But it was also a time, everybody kneeled down and everybody had to say a decade. And that's when the fun would start. That's when you'd reach over and start tickling my sister's behind or something, or tying somebody's shoes together. Or sneezing when you shouldn't be sneezing. And then you get a slap across the head from your mother. Then you did sorrowful mysteries after that. But that was done not every night, but a few nights a week.
I remember when I was a kid, one of the prayers that was big at the time was the prayer for Blessed Oliver Plunkett. Used to always finish the rosary with it, to make him a saint. I was always used to wait for that prayer because I knew it was the end of the rosary. It was over. Get off your knees.
We never got that far. We had the abbreviated version. We didn't do Oliver Plunkett.
What is your favorite time of the year?
Oh, summer. Summertime. Even though I worked a lot, still, you go out and run around like a rabbit. It was just great. Yeah. Any chances you might not have rain would, have in the summertime.
What was the best part, do you think, of growing up in Ireland?
Tough question, no. I don't know. Best part of growing up is being young, I guess, where you don't realize the seriousness of life around you. Just being out there playing around, especially with the hurling. I used to love hurling.
Well, you played the harmonica. Did you learn that?
Who told you that?
I've heard people say that.
That was, yeah, right. I don't know who bought me the mouth organ when I was, probably my mother. But I learned it myself. You learn it yourself, and you play it. Played it for years, younger years. Jigs, not too many reels, waltzes, stuff like that. But it's self-taught,
You were also could do a fairly good job at singing a song too.
No, I was never much good at singing a song, no.
No?
No.
All right.
I don't think I was that good.
I heard you singing a few. You did a very good job on it.
What time of the night might that have been?
Well, with different times. But what were your favorite?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, it varies from traditional Irish to Van Morrison. Really, I mean, I'm all over the place with favorite.
But actually, if you were to sing a song yourself, what was your favorite?
Is this a leading thing, Noel?
Well, it could be.
I don't know. A lot of people say, "Well, give us a song," and I only know one verse, and I'll sing a verse of one song. I don't know. It's so many different great songs out there.
I heard you do a nice rendition of Schlevenwald once.
I did, but I forgot it now.
Yeah.
I did that for a special occasion.
Oh yeah, it was very, very nice.
Yeah, I learned it for that special occasion,
Yeah.
which was Danny.
Yeah.
And
Good job on that.
I really can't remember that at all. It was done for Molly and Danny, yeah.
Very, 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 very nice. Do you? But your father was died. Your father and mother both sing, or did either one of them sing?
None of them sang.
None of them sang.
Not a one of them.
But talk about just a little bit about your dad, because I think it's worth to mention. He was a great man at doing a recitation.
Yeah, I would say starting around 30 years ago. Yeah, maybe a little more. He started getting into recitations, and his favorite author, if you will, was Robert Service, The Dangerous Dan McGrew, and all this stuff. And he did the Green-Eyed Little Yellow God. I don't know who wrote that. Was it? I'm not sure who wrote that. But I was home last year, and we took him out of the nursing home for a couple of nights. Took him to the old place, to the house. And he doesn't speak very much now. But in the middle of this particular party we had, he recites Dangerous Dan McGrew, word for word.
Word for word.
Word for word.
Beautiful.
Then we couldn't stop him. He went to the Green-Eyed Little Yellow God.
Yeah.
And he said, "That's enough now. Have another drink."
Uh-huh.
Now he was big on recitations.
And he also, just want to mention that the two was like that. I remember seeing him do, or hearing him do the speech.
From the doc, Robert Emmett's, yeah.
Robert Emmett's speech.
Yeah, he does that one pretty good.
Word for word.
Word for word.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant thing for, how old was Emmett? 19?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Going to his death, yeah.
And beautiful. He does a great job of it. You left awfully behind and headed not really to America, but to England first.
Went to England for 10 months, worked in London for 10 months, didn't particularly enjoy it. Made enough money to get out of there and come to the States. The only thing I remember a little bit about London was going to Hyde Park on Sunday mornings and listening to those people speaking from the soapboxes.
Oh, yeah.
And every nut in the world was there. And I would just go away laughing and laughing and laughing. But no, about 10 months in London, I didn't particularly care for it. It was a rough scene, rough social scene.
Yeah. The big dance halls there.
Oh yeah, halls. Big dance halls and the Elephant and Castle, and Camden Town, and Cricklewood, where I had two dance halls in the one under the one building. And it's too much fights.
Yeah.
Too many fights. Irishmen go out there and love to fight each other. Why don't they go fight the?
Get drunk and get fight.
Come on, lads. Don't be fighting each other.
You headed for? Did you come back? Did you come to America from England, or?
No, I went home to Ireland first for a few weeks, and then I went to Chicago. I don't know if it's still the case, but back then you had to be claimed out by a relative or somebody who would take care of you.
Yep.
And had to show that they had X amount of dollars in the bank in case you didn't get work, and they could take care of you. So I went
for 5 years.
Yeah, I think so. So I went to Chicago. I arrived in the States the end of October in 1962, right in the middle of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah. That was.
I solved that as soon as I got here because it stopped.
Care of that,
yeah,
right.
I took care of that.
But you left from Shannon?
I left from Shannon, stopped in New York, and then flew from New York within an hour, 2 hours or something, changed flights to Chicago. Spent about 3 months in Chicago. My first job in the United States of America was in Chicago in Sears Roebuck. I was a champion picker in the mail order department. You get a cart and you get a bunch of orders and you run around like a maniac, picking things out of bins with a number on them, hopefully putting the right one into the cart. So I was right there for the Christmas rush, so there was no problem getting a job.
Sure.
And when the Christmas rush was over, they laid off a whole slew of the kids, and they said, "No, you're staying. You're good." I said, "No, I'm not good. I'm leaving. I'm going up to oh, you can't go. We want to make you vice president of picking." So I declined, and I came up to Connecticut. I had some buddies in New York, Connecticut area.
Now you had come to Chicago to your sister, was it?
Yeah, my two sisters lived there.
Two sisters.
Mary and Noni.
Okay.
Right, so I lived with them for the 3 months. Like I said, I worked for those 3 months in Sears Roebuck, and then flew to New York and came up to Stanford.
Okay. So you came back to New York and then to Stanford.
Yeah.
And that was like 60, 62?
That was 63.
63. Okay.
63.
Right.
And
from there you...
I lived with, in Springdale
Mm-hmm.
with Johnny Doherty and Kathleen Doherty,
Oh, okay.
who still live in the same house, I believe, you know. And worked in Mackless Labs, doing some assembly work.
Mm-hmm.
And then my uncle called me, Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah. He says, we want you to come join us in Fort Dix.
Fort Dix.
So that was in March of 1964.
Okay.
So I was in the country probably around 16 months or so, 17 months. So off to Dix, first to New Haven, then you certify that you're sane and that you're able-bodied, which everybody was.
Yeah.
Carter's down at Fort Dix, New Jersey, where we spent basic training of 8 weeks. And the only, there's a lot of memories there, none of them too pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was the fact that before we were assigned to a specific company to do our training, we were in this holding area,
Mm-hmm.
something like a zoo, you know.
Yeah.
And there was one kid there who some of the sergeants were really picking on. They turned out to be Jackie Robinson's son.
Oh, from Stanford.
From Stanford.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I'd heard of Jackie Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't, I knew he was the first black player in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I didn't know too much about him. But he was there. That's but the only claim to fame I have. I don't think he made out too well after. I think he got killed in a car crash or something. Then I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, for advanced individual training,
Mm-hmm.
artillery. Big, huge range out in the middle of the desert. 10 weeks there, boiling hot, 107, 108 degrees. I think Geronimo was buried on that base.
Is it?
The Apache chief. Yeah.
Well, what time of the year were you?
I was June and July,
June. Oof.
and it was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Finished that, and then they say, okay, now your orders are you report to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. This is where your base is going to be. I went to Devens. Now I'm in the artillery. We're doing 105 howitzers. We can, But we're a strike outfit. Strike outfit means that you can be ready to move. The whole outfit can go, and within a matter of a couple of hours, you get the orders and you have to go.
Pick up and
go. So we did spend like 3 months up in Camp Drum, Watertown, Fort Drum, Camp Drum, which is up near the Canadian border in New York. Black flies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent following summer of '65 in West Point. Not just me, the whole kit and caboodle went up there, instructing the cadets how to fire the artillery.
Right.
Tough duty, not great duty.
Well, were you stationed at
Oh
West
yeah,
Point?
we were in the barracks, same barracks as the Army band, as a matter of fact. Yeah. We were so good at firing the artillery that we fired a round into Bear Mountain by mistake, of course.
Everybody's.
Yeah, we set the mountain on fire. We spent 3 days out there putting the fire out. Yeah. So back from West Point back to Fort Devens in like the 1st of September or something. And the same day we got back around, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They have the evening formation at 5 or 6. And they started calling names in that formation. The fallen people fall out of the formation, and those who remain in the formation will report to 2nd Battalion, 2nd Infantry down the road in Fort Devens.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do it by 7 o'clock that night.
Mm-hmm.
So we put our stuff in our duffel bags, walked down to 2 miles down to the infantry, and we're brought in there. We're looking at each other. What are we doing here? And I said, well, everybody here is not short timers. They're either at least 6 months or more ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we all said, I think we're going to Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
Yep, we're going to Vietnam. They didn't tell us we were going to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew we were not supposed to know we were going. Nobody said we were going to Vietnam, but for some reason we were put on a plane that's flown to Oakland and put on a troop ship with like 3,000 troops, and then they told us we were going to Vietnam.
When you were pointed in that direction.
Pointed in that direction, yeah.
So you sailed out of.
Sail out of Frisco or Oakland, whichever it is, and on the Captain Blatchford. Frank was on that.
Really?
Frank McGrath, my late brother-in-law. We didn't know each other back then.
Okay.
But yeah, and it took us about 2 weeks to go over because we hit a storm on the way out, and that was some storm. My first time on a boat, and I remember looking up and I can't see the sky, and looking down I can't see the sea. That's some storm.
Wow.
And then the ship broke down for about 3 days, and we all cheered that along. That hope goes for about 7 weeks, you know. So about two weeks later, we got to Vietnam, and we went. Our home base was about 50 to 60 miles north of Saigon, a place called Lai Khe, and it was one of the Michelin rubber plantations, and we had a perimeter around this plantation, around the village of Lai Khe in the middle, and that was our base camp. And the first night we were probably shooting each other. We were so scared, you know, because it gets dark. It's like 12 hours darkness, 12 and 12. But that was our base camp. We would go out. We were choppered out to different locations from there on. But it wasn't easy duty. It was.
You were there for a year?
No, I was there for the duration of my commitment to the service, which is like a little over 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
It was like 6 years to me, but yeah.
Okay. And any memories that that are
Yeah, they're tough
tough ones?
ones, but you know, it's easy